Good afternoon, everyone. It's Hanifa Menon from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. Today, I was thinking about education, teaching, because of course that's what I do as much of my work. And I'm educating people in my clinical appointments, but of course I've always loved education. So I was thinking about this today, and I thought about how education is received by people, and I thought I should look up some quotes that match where I'm at, and I allowed the universe to direct me. And these are the quotes I found for you today. The first one I came across it's by Plato, and it says, "Knowledge which is acquired under compulsion obtains no hold on the mind. Knowledge which is acquired by compulsion obtains no hold on the mind." I thought that's perfect. If a person has to take a particular course, if a person has to go to school, if a person, and of course, this is a first world problem, right? Because there are people dreaming of going to school. But if a person has to learn something, even at a workplace, let's say the boss says, "Oh, you know what? Everyone has to come in for a meeting because I want to teach you something new about what we're doing." And you can see half of the people at the meeting will be rolling their eyes or doodling on their paper, maybe trying to text someone very quickly, which is the same thing that happens in school with students that are not really interested in the information being taught, largely because they're there from compulsion. Someone has told them, or they have told themselves that they have to be there. It might even be a reason for, I need one more course to graduate, so I'm taking this course. And so there's a bit of I have to behind that. And when there's that I have to, it loses that real effect that the mind can gain from it, the intelligence, the wisdom that comes from it. And then I came across another quotation, which was even deeper. So I saw this one, which is by John Lancaster Spalding. And this quotation said, "In education, as in religion and love, compulsion thwarts the purpose for which it is employed." Say that again. In education, as in religion and love, compulsion thwarts the purpose for which it is employed. Which is interesting, right? Because okay, in education, yes, we're trying to get educated. And if we feel that we have a compulsion to be there, we're not going to learn what we're there for, right? So that makes sense in education. We just talked about that. As in religion, now this I also agree with, right? So if someone is being told you have to go to church, you have to go to mosque, you have to go to the temple, I want you to be here, whether it's a friend, a family member, likely a parent, or it could be a spouse, right? Anyone who is saying you have to be there, it loses the flavor for what the purpose is, right? So it really just thwarts that purpose. And then, of course, they talk about love and love. And I, of course, agree with this too, because when someone has a compulsion to love someone, let's say someone says, "Well, I know that your parent beats you, but you have to love them because they're your parent." That thwarts the purpose, right? Because love doesn't come from that sort of experience, right? That's not a loving experience. Another situation would be you need to love your spouse because you're married. And the same thing could be happening, or there could be verbal abuse, or there could be significant non comfortable experiences in a relationship. And someone says, "Well, you're married, or you've been in that relationship for this long, or you haven't spoken to a friend for a very long time, and the friend had said something really inappropriate to you the last time you spoke." And someone says, "Well, you've been friends for this long." And all of these situations are situations of normal love, yet when it's done out of compulsion, it loses the purpose. The same thing can be said about eating. So let's say we have a need. The human body has a need for food, right? And we all know this, that there's a knowledge and awareness that we need food. And no one has to tell us when we're hungry, right? Because our body tells us, and we listen, we realize I should eat. So eating is not a compulsion in that situation, right? It's a need, and then you meet the need. And if you eat way more than what you need because it tasted so good, or you were so very hungry, oh, you feel the effects of it, don't you? So the purpose for which you were eating is thwarted because now there's a compulsion, right? Now you want to eat more. Or you see something along the way, you're driving along and you see a sign for, again, could be burgers or fries or ice cream, anything that just kind of sparks an interest, and you don't need it, but now you have a compulsion. Once you have a compulsion, the purpose is being thwarted. So remembering this, I thought this was a fantastic day to share this with you. It's Friday, and hopefully you can think about this through the weekend. I'd love for you to spend 5 minutes after this video and see what kind of things are you driven by compulsion. And people will be driven to different things. So it could be overeating. It's usually an excess of something. It could be oversleeping. It could be too much lust, greed, workaholism, right? Or we'll say work, too much work can turn into workaholic tendencies. So any of these things in small amounts, fantastic. In compulsive behaviors, not fantastic at all. So sit down for 5 minutes and see what are the areas that you find yourself a little bit weaker in terms of compulsion. And I hope that you can strengthen your system by recognizing, it's good to meet the need and make sure that the need is being met, not an action done out of compulsion. And I thought I would end this video today with teaching you about one more quotation that I came across. And you know that I also like to encourage people to question how they think, the judgments that they make. And I'm going to share this quotation with you. This quotation says, "Let there be no compulsion in religion. Truth stands out clear from error." Let there be no compulsion in religion. Truth stands out clear from error. So people would think, I wonder where that came from. So was it a philosopher? And I'm going to tell you it's some sort of religious text. And what religious text would have written this? So some might think, it's got to be from Buddhist perspective. Some might think maybe Hindu perspective. Some might think Jain, right? There's so many thoughts that could come up that which religion would that be from? This quotation is from the Quran. And so I wanted to make sure that you know that we're all speaking the same language if we just stop to listen. And today I would love for you to stop and listen to your own mind and watch your own compulsive behaviors. I wish you a fantastic day ahead, and I hope you remember, transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great day, everyone.